I'd like to welcome everybody to the dental membership plans in the DSO space panel discussion. We've got some great conversation here for you all today, and we've got some real nice representation from the industry. So whether you're an emerging group or you're an established DSO, a dental membership plan is something, if you're not already thinking about, you should certainly consider. So first off, I'd like to introduce Dr. Mary Pham. She is the founder and president of Lollipop Pediatric Dental, and she has 3 locations in California. So thanks, Mary, for being here. And just one note, Mary's group won the Emerging Groups to Watch for 2021. So congratulations. And next up, we have Dr. Michael Riccobene, and he is the founder and CEO of Riccobene Associates. And Michael, you're at 40 locations in North Carolina right now?
Yes, 40 locations.
Soon to be maybe 60 by the end of the year?
60 and across state lines.
Okay, excellent. And then we also have Dr. Brett Wells, and Brett is not only the founder and CEO of Dental HQ, but he is also the founder and president of Wells Family Dental Group. And he has 4 locations in North Carolina as well. So thanks for being here, Dr. Wells.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so this will be an interesting discussion because, dental membership plans have been around for a little while, and some people, some practices, some dental groups have been kind of doing their own thing, right? They kind of created their own dental membership plan, and then there's some other more formalized plans out there, but there's a lot, I think, confusion in the market. So it's a great opportunity. So I'm going to start with Dr. Pham. So 2-part question. As far as, and by the way, I'm Bill Newman with Group Dentistry Now. So yeah, thanks for having me on here. And this is an exciting topic. So as far as when did you decide to launch the membership plan, and then why? So when and why?
So we actually had our own in-house membership plan that we tried to start and maintain ourselves. And we realized that we wanted to try to automate and do something that looked more technologically advanced, but at the same time would allow our team to provide flexible payment options. And so after we had a hard time with really maintaining it ourselves, we looked at different options out there. And we started with Dental HQ in June of 2020, right after COVID happened, because we found that a lot of families had lost their jobs, had lost their insurance, and we wanted to find a way that was easy for us coming back short-staffed from COVID to still be able to serve these patients and do it in a way that was really easy and that didn't stress anyone out, whether it be our team or our patients. And so we demoed a lot of different membership plan companies. We actually started with one, and then we switched over to Dental HQ because of us not being happy with the other one that we had started. And I don't know if you knew that, Brent. Brent, yeah, we did. We switched over. And we've been really happy with the way that Dental HQ has really been, helping us with the training, customizing it to the way we wanted it, and allowing us to have our own webpage. I really loved that aspect of it, where when a patient would come into the office, we just gave them the iPad and the link and said, hey, here's our plans. These are all the different options you have. Pick the one that works with your budget. And they only had to pay $40, and they were able to get their cleanings that day. So it wasn't even a few $100s. It was just like $40 or $50. And they were able to get their cleaning. And then I think the best part of it was just seeing that they paid for the membership plan on the treatment plan from the discounts that we gave. So that kind of sold it for the patients without us ever doing anything. Was just saying, hey, if you just sign up for the membership plan today, you will save $600, and that'll pay for this whole membership plan just from that. So
Excellent. So Dr. Riccobene, tell me a little bit about when did you start looking at membership plans? How did you implement it? Talk about that process.
For me, I just wanted to give uninsured patients access to affordable quality care that really removed finances as a major barrier. I had acquired an office that had a high percentage of self-pay patients. And in order to keep them, I thought that giving them access to an affordable membership would help us retain the goodwill that we had just paid for, right? And I did not want to give anyone a reason to leave. And the membership plans, are a means for people to see a way to get quality care where they can afford it, and they're trusting in a practice that can deliver it at the same quality they're accustomed to. Because I think that's the biggest thing, right? When people join plans, like they wonder, well, yeah, it's a plan, and am I going to get decreased quality? So for me, it was important to be able to provide something that gave me the flexibility to make it the way I wanted it to be, that wouldn't give us like almost the overwhelming like feel that, oh, well, this is good, but it's like less quality that I'm getting from a single practitioner. So Dental HQ gave me the opportunity to really customize it in a way that gave my patients the comfort that, hey, if I join this, not only am I getting the quality care that I've been accustomed to, but it's an easy payment type of schedule, and I get decreased cost on ongoing treatment that makes me want to do it rather than finding reasons not to do it. And that was my motivation.
Okay. And this, Dr. Wells, so why start a membership? So you have 4 locations. So you obviously at some point didn't have a membership plan, and probably there was some on the market that didn't necessarily fit your needs. So you decided to create your own.
Yeah, I probably 7, 8, or 9 years ago, years ago, was at the Him Dental Conference listening to Dr. Charles Blair, who's kind of one of our advisors now, about this new kind of thing going on in dentistry, where dentists were starting to offer this package of preventative care for a set rate, annual rate, $300-400 a year for your cleanings, exams, and x-rays, and a discount on treatment. And we all have our light bulb moments. That was one for me. And I was like, oh my God, we can go outside of our office and sell this package of services to uninsured patients. I made these nice cards, and we had custom printers done for them. And I wanted to sell them in pharmacies. And I quickly realized that, for an annual plan at $400 a year, somebody wasn't going to sign up for Wells Family Dentistry and pay $400 when they didn't even know who we were or anything about us. So that plan wasn't going to work. So we launched our own internal membership plan, just annual, without any kind of software around it, or really much outside of just making a notation on the patient's chart. Well, we quickly grew out of that plan, that annual membership plan, where we were having logistical issues even with just annual plans, which a lot of dentists don't understand or think about when they're running their own plans, and that you offer an annual plan, you don't use any renewing software. Well, what happens a lot is a patient will be on a 12-month plan. Well, then maybe they don't come in at 12 months for that second cleaning. Maybe it's 14, 16 months when they come in. And that's when your front desk is going to take the payment to renew that membership. So now all of a sudden, a 12-month plan becomes a 16-month plan, and you've lost out of that 4 month of recurring revenue. So, we built Dental HQ, and we launched it in my offices to allow that automated recurring payment and all the tracking really easily. And from that point on, we went from probably 75 members to now our group has 800 to 1,000 members. I haven't looked at the last number, but it really exploded once we started the automation.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Mary, let me ask you this question, Dr. Pham. If from a group practice perspective, over the 3 locations that you have, talk a little bit about the value of having a membership plan when it comes to having, multiple locations.
So our practices in Orange County are probably about 15, 20 minutes apart from each other. They're not that far. And so the biggest value that I see is that the patients are able to go between locations without having to worry. So essentially for us, it's creating kind of like your own network, or like within that plan. So we're not picky with, oh, you bought it here, you have to stay here. I would say probably about 25% of our patients go between our locations depending on when they can get in. We were just talking about it this morning that we were booked out for 6 weeks for treatment at one of our offices. And so we're able to move some of those patients to another office that may be booked out 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And so with the membership plan, we want patients to have the flexibility to go where they want, when they want to. And so that's the value that I see for us, is that it allows us to, no matter where they, purchase the plan, they can go wherever it's convenient for them. And then if we get bigger and we go out of state, they can go out of state too.
There you go. Dr. Riccobene, any input on that as far as benefits over the 40 plus locations that you have?
Well, I think for us, it's also a recurring revenue stream, right? It ensures that your patients will keep coming through the door on an annual or semi-annual basis. It gives the correct impression that we are a value based practice, where value leads to trust and trust leads to profits. And I think as a group, we want to provide a platform for people to come in to feel like they're being treated really well, that we understand what their issues are with care, and we try to overcome them. So if someone has an issue with finances, we want to make sure that they feel like they're getting the opportunity to really spread out the cost of dental care over months, if not years, right? If their issue is time, then we want to make sure we give them evening hours and weekend hours to increase their ability to accept the care that we're proposing. So from my perspective, Dental HQ increased our treatment plan acceptance, right? So because we listened to the patients, we heard what their barriers to care was, and we presented a plan to them that mitigated their barriers and also made it affordable and possible for them to accept it. So that's where I see the big major advantage as one of the parts that allows us to cross the barriers that most people have to care.
And Mary, just curious, with being a pediatric dentist, what kind of plans do you have? How did you set up your plans?
So we have like a kid plan and a teen plan. And so I think the child plan goes up to a certain age. Once they hit 12, then there tends to be, braces or tartar a little bit more. So we just increase our price, I think $15 or $20 a month for the older children.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I've got a question, and Brett, maybe you could answer this. So if somebody like Dr. Riccobene or even with Mary, I mean, could you possibly have different types of plans at different offices within your group? Maybe based on whether it's the specialties or the geography. I mean, whether it's a price point or just what the packages look like.
Yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing about us is, it comes from the mind of a dentist, a group DSO practice owner, right? And so we wanted to provide total flexibility. When you have multi-locations and maybe one location is in a demographic of a retirement community and you want to have senior citizen discounts, we build that. Another demographic like for ours is more urban centered. So we do, teledentistry included with these, with the millennial crowd. So, you can really tailor your plan to whatever you want. And, it didn't originally start off like that, but we realized pretty quickly that dentists were a very creative group and that a lot of them wanted to do somewhat slight tweaks and unique changes to their different plans in different locations. So you can have different plans across every location and do whatever you want with it, really.
And go ahead. We have, just for when you were talking about Brett earlier about the different plans within pediatrics. So in our older child plan, we have a higher, like an ortho discount built in there. And then, so they get, I think, $500 off of ortho if they go into that teen plan. And then they go into monthly payments into their ortho treatment as well. And so being part of the membership plan allows them that additional amount off of their monthly ortho payments.
Yeah, and I've even thought about, we have an office doing a retainer club through as a membership plan. I think it's like $6 or $7 a month, and they just get new retainers whenever they need it. So there's all kinds of cool stuff you can do. Right. But I'm always interested to hear how the pediatric dentists are doing it because, it's certainly a different demographic than I see, so interesting.
Yeah, certainly. So I'll throw this out to the group. How about unintended benefits from having a membership plan, like things that you didn't necessarily think were going to happen, but did because you had a membership plan, and then just the value that it's created for your group.
So I would say when we acquired the one practice that had a lot of fee-for-service patients, I mean, one of my biggest goals was patient retention. So what was I going to do to retain the patients that were self-pay? Like, and when some certain dentists sell to bigger DSOs, like the question is like, well, am I still going to get the same kind of personalized care? Are they still going to care about me as an individual? And I wanted to create a tool that would make them understand right off the bat that we're not just about making profits. We want to create the kind of practice that fulfills your needs. And since a lot of them were self-pay, being able to give them the dental membership plan gave them confidence that, yes, I want to keep coming here because I feel like these people, I'm going to pay exactly what I was paying before for cleanings, but I have all these add-on bonuses, which is 20% off my regular restorative care. So it really increased our retention of patients when we did acquisitions. And I think that's one of the key things for DSOs who are built on acquiring practices and integrating practices in their own model is patient retention, because you pay for goodwill. And if you don't retain those patients, you've literally paid for something that's not real. So if you create programs that actually increase patient retention, you're literally increasing the kind of profitability and retention that you want in order to give you the value that you're getting when you acquire these practices.
Yeah, I agree. I think that just like what you were saying, Michael, is that there's that loyalty to your brand and your practice because you are who they are paying this monthly fee to, and so you're not as afraid of them leaving because it's not like private insurance where they can go to another office. Like they really want to stay with you and they have that loyalty to you, and they see, like as I mentioned before, we were nervous initially about because when you say, oh, I'm selling you this membership plan, I think it comes off as another thing that you're selling. But then what I realized as the team started to offer the membership plans, that they were like, Dr. Pham, it's not even hard. We just show them the treatment plan and they're like, okay, let's do it. So it was, I think that when we saw that the patients were really accepting to it, because everyone wants a discount. And I think when you tell them that being a part of the membership plan is so affordable and then you get the discounts, it's a no-brainer for them. So it's been really easy I feel like the patients now feel like if we don't offer it to them, that we're doing them a disservice of a discount that they deserve.
True.
That's a great point. So let's talk a little bit. You mentioned a couple things like flexibility of a plan being important, and also the training, right? How do we use this? How do we educate the staff? Beyond that, let's talk about some features and benefits that are important to you. So, Dr. Riccobene, maybe from your perspective, when you're looking at different plans or implementing something, what do you really look for?
So I wanted something that I could make my own. Like I wanted a Riccobene membership plan. I didn't want some random company that had already, pre-decided what each plan was going to be. So I want something that was fully customizable to meet the needs of our patients. Well, at the same time, I wanted someone else to manage the collection of fees and the things that we really didn't want to deal with that we're not built to. We're dentists and we want to provide care, and we want to increase access to care by looking at the limitations that people have in order to accepting treatment and providing them a plan that works. And so what Dental HQ did for us was it took care of the stuff that we're not really built to do and manage these plans, but gave us the flexibility to create plans that really fit our patients' needs. So for instance, like a lot of us as dentists, we don't do sealants on adults because insurance doesn't pay for it, right? So this is patients that have insurance that have a need, which if you seal teeth and you decrease the ability of bacteria to get into the nooks and crannies of teeth that cause decay, like how can we overcome that? And when you're looking at $35 per tooth in someone's mouth, like there's a limitation to access in that point. So we created our own sealant plan, which for $9.95 a month, every time, even the patients with insurance come to the practice, because their insurance don't cover it, they can get their sealants touched up or fixed up and actually protects their teeth. So I wanted something that was flexible, that I could make my own, that I could, literally look at my patient population of where I was and give them something that they wanted. And that's where we've seen, great acceptance, even among the uninsured, but also those that are insured for procedures that insurance companies dictate whether or not it's a value or not. And as a dentist, I think I should dictate what's a value and what's not a value. And if it's a value, patients need to have access to getting that done. And that's what I love about the flexibility of creating a plan that fits my needs.
There you go. There's flexibility again. I mean, we talked a little bit about kind of, what you had an in-house plan before. So maybe we should take it from that perspective. What were you not able to offer with that plan that you created in-house that you're able to do now with this membership plan?
Definitely administration of the plan. My team is very busy, and if there's something else that I add on top of their plate, they get very upset unless it's a click. And so this is what Dental HQ did for us. They made it into a click, and then the patient just puts in their credit card number and selects the plan, and that's all that happens. And actually, that's what we do. We just put that. We give them the iPad. They choose the plan. And then we put a little pop-up on their chart. And every time they come in, we log into Dental HQ as if you're going into an insurance portal and just see if they're active. And that's it.
There you go.
Super
So
easy.
ease of use, right? And then flexibility. Dr. Wells, let's talk a little bit about, what if you're a DSO, you're an emerging group and you don't have a plan and you decide on one and you're going to launch it.
Yeah.
What are some steps? Give us an idea of kind of best practices.
Yeah. Well, with Dr. Rick Benny, he kind of helped us kind of pave the way on what are the best practices. And I think one thing he did that kind of gave him success was, look, if you've got a 40 location group, it's probably not the best idea to launch this thing in 40 locations all at once. Like pick a region, pick maybe one or two offices, if not a region, get it set up, going really well there. And then expand it. So like what we found when launching these plans, the offices that are by far the most successful are the ones that have really trained their team, and everyone on the team is locked in and believes in the value of that membership plan. So when they're hearing about the plan from their assistant, from their hygienist, from the front desk, they believe in the value and they're presenting that to the patients. The patients trust you, and so they're gonna buy that membership plan from you all the time. And so, when it comes to a multi-location group, starting small, scaling it up, figuring out what works for you, and really training your team is what we preach. And we now even have put together, I think it's an 8-step process of getting your overall plan administrator, adding your controller, your CFO, your marketing person. We have a meeting with all of them. How are we going to roll this out? And then once everybody's on board with that, we then go set up the different dashboards. We connect the bank accounts. We have a team meeting with all the office managers with the original management team. And then we launch it in whatever size group you want to launch it in. We get it successful there. We go on to the next region, and we just roll it out like that, building on it and building on it and building on it. And that's what we found to be the most successful, where it's the click of a button, like Mary mentioned, because that's what it takes to be successful. Your team doesn't want a lot of extra paperwork and a lot of extra hassle. It needs to get to be a click of the button, and they need to understand the value and how to get to that click.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Bill, I would add to that we were looking at a recent acquisition in Virginia, and they'd been following us and what we did and how we did it. And they knew we were Dental HQ, and they tried to launch their own membership plan, and it failed because they didn't really have the infrastructure to really implement it and make it happen. And they were asking me the question as we were going through that process, like, well, tell me more about Dental HQ and why it was an advantage. And when I told them, how easy it was, they realized why their plans didn't work. So, we all have great ideas as dentists. We all as innovators, as scientists, we think outside the box of what we could do and what we can't do. But at the end of the day, when you're running a business, you need to think about not only what are good ideas, but what's practical and what can work in your office. And I think that's what Dental HQ does from a membership plan standpoint, is it just makes it easy. We started this in 2018. I had just acquired that office. Plus, I saw the need, and I got a little bit tired of insurance companies trying to dictate to me what they were going to pay for, what they weren't going to pay for. And there was a lot of patients asking me, is it worth me keeping this insurance? So I wanted to give them a product that would give them the flexibility, which I keep talking about, but also, would help us be able to form something to fit their needs. And that's what we were able to do. And, we now in a short period of time have 5,200 members, in the plan, over $1.2 million of revenue a year. And most of that are patients that may have never even been patients of ours, so, I think that's what from a DSO perspective, that's the holy grail. That's what we're looking for. We're looking at ways to expand our services to people that may not otherwise choose us, to provide a service that is necessary, but also that also provides us the revenue that drops to the bottom line, that makes us more valuable as a company. And I think membership plans in general do that. But if you get one that really makes it easy to implement, I think that's the one you need to go for.
And just to touch on that, Dr. Riccobene is mentioned 1.2 million, and that's just his ARR on the plan. That's right. That doesn't even include the increase in treatment acceptance of 2 to 3x on the members versus the non-members. So, at 1.2 million, he's probably seen 5 to 6 million a year in revenue from those patients. Whereas if they weren't on a plan, he'd probably only be generating 1 to 2 million in revenue off of those patients. So it's really, really a powerful program. Whether or not you automate with Dental HQ or do something else, like it's a plan that every DSO should have in place.
Excellent. You gave some tips on the launch, right? So if you're a DSO and emerging group, kind of how to get things going. Why? And Mary, this is for you. Why do you think your plan has been successful? Beyond the launch, why is it successful? What keeps it going?
I think Brett touched on it a little bit earlier, is that the team really believes in what it is that we're trying to do. After they were trained and they learned what value that the plan brought as far as keeping the patients on a preventative schedule. When you pay money towards a membership, whether it's a dental membership or a gym membership, you feel like you have to go, right? Twice a year is what our plan offers. So to keep up with your dental health. And I think our goal, especially in pediatric dentistry, and I think in dentistry in general, is just to make sure that our patients keep up with their dental health. Like if they come every 6 months, they're not going to have thousands and thousands of dollars worth of dental treatment. We want to focus on the prevention part of it. So I think the membership plan just gives them like an affordable way of committing to something that's good for their health. And so when they come in, it's just preventative care and maybe touch-ups on sealants and just making sure that you're in good dental health. And that's the one thing that I really love about it, is that it just continues, it emphasizes the importance to the patient of preventative care, because we don't want them to spend $10,000 on restorative care every time they come in. We want them to just continue the preventative care, because that's what we're all about.
Excellent. Any other tips for success? So we have it launched. What's made your plan? What's made Riccobene and Associates dental membership plan successful?
Yeah, Dr. Pham touched on that. First of all, I think getting a buy-in from your employees is critical in anything that you implement in your program. And what's going to give them buy-in is knowing that it's easy to implement and it makes sense for patients. This is not a money grab. This is an increase in access to care. I think that is really critical. And then I think about the flexibility, right? So we've had patients that have come in, we've run specials, $99 cleanings. You get a cleaning, you get x-rays, you get an exam, and they come in and they need perio work, like 4 quadrants of root planing and scaling. And some of those patients would be like, oh, well, this is just a scam to get us into the door so that then you upsell us. But it's not. I mean, they actually need it. So, but they're value-based customers, right? They're looking to come somewhere where they can get the care that's affordable and then take pride in the health that they can achieve in accomplishing, the plan that we've given them. And Dental HQ gives us the opportunity to customize it for a perio plan. So if someone comes in and says, yes, I came in for the new patient special, it's $99, but all of a sudden I need this like root plan and scaling, I can't afford it. Well, can you afford, $59 a month for the next year? And when you break it down, and it, part of it sounds a little cheesy, like $59 a week car salesmen or not. But at the end of the day, we have to listen to our consumers. Most people want healthy teeth. Most people want to be able to smile. Most people, know about the correlations between periodontal disease and heart disease and diabetes and things like that. So our job as healthcare practitioners is to provide the ability to give them the ability to accomplish those things in a very affordable manner that gets beyond the barriers to care that we've seen in the past. And that's what I like about it. And it's increased our treatment acceptance, because not only are they accepting the perio care that they wouldn't have otherwise done, but once they get involved in it, like, wow, my teeth feel so much better. I feel so much better. What else can we do? I really was never really happy about my smile. Can you guys make my smile feel better? Or my teeth were always crooked. Do you guys do orthodontics? So not only is it increasing the access to care, people wouldn't otherwise use it, but then it increases their dental intelligence in what they want, and what, as it gets better, they want it to take it to another level. And by being able to customize these plans to those desires, it's really helped our case acceptance. So I would say, although we did collect $1.2 million last year from Dental HQ, I don't know if we can fully quantify the increase in treatment plan acceptance that we've had. I think it's a lot, because we've seen the growth we had even through COVID. And I think that providing an experience that made people confident to be able to come here and get a value-based dental care that didn't decrease quality and satisfied their needs is all part of the package that they're looking for.
Great. So, Dr. Wells?
Yeah, in terms of being a success, it comes down to one principle. And, oftentimes we'll have offices who they're like, okay, membership plans. I need a membership plan because everybody's got membership plans. It's a buzzword right now. And so, call us, they get a membership plan, and then they add one member, no members, a few members. Like, if you're not going to buy in and you're not going to train your team, don't even have a membership plan, because why go through the hassle of having it? The number one thing for success is, and we know this because one of Dr. Riccobeni's offices added almost 700 members within 3 months. And we went to his office and listened to what they did. And what they did was that entire office was bought in and talking about their membership plan from the second they called on the phone to when they were checking in at the front desk, to when they were seeing the assistant or hygienist, to when they were checking out, they were being told about the membership plan. And that practice is probably our most successful practice we've ever had, just because of the buy-in. And so offices that are really bought in, tremendously successful. Offices that just have a plan to have a plan are not. So for us, that's what we see as the biggest differentiator.
So we're getting near the end here. I've got one last question, and I appreciate everybody being here for the dental membership plans in the DSO space panel discussion. So maybe we'll kind of finish things off from a creative standpoint. So, Dr. Pham, can you give us some creative ways that you really make your plan different? And like I said, Dr. Wells probably does something different, and Dr. Riccobeni and Riccobeni Associates, their plan. So what are you doing differently at Lollipop?
Yeah, definitely. So, of course, we're a pediatric practice, so we try to make everything fun with a little twist to it. So, aside from the membership plan being affordable and flexible, we also put a fun twist to it where you get exclusive branded gear, you get some swag, you get to be put in special drawings if you're part of the membership plan. So I remember when we put it in our newsletter that we were offering a membership plan, we actually had several patients respond back like, I want to make sure I'm not missing out on something. Tell me about it again. So then we were like, oh, we have a membership plan for dental, but it also includes all of these other things. And so we had people sign up for the plan that just wanted to not be left out in the fun stuff happening at Lollipop. So it was pretty cool.
It's awesome.
Dr. Riccobene.
Yeah, I think for me, what the dental membership plans has added, the value that it brings to practices, patient retention, patient satisfaction, increased treatment plan acceptance, increased revenue, and more freedom from insurance companies, right? So as dentists, we all went into this to have the freedom to do what we want and do the right thing. And I think more and more insurance companies are dictating what we can do, when we can do it, and how we can do it. And I think we need to get away from that as much as we can. Now, we're participating providers in a lot of plans, but at the same time, I think that people want the best quality for the best price. And when you have an avenue to allow them to get that, I think it increases patient satisfaction. And at the same time, I've always said, the key to my success hasn't just been patient satisfaction, it's employee satisfaction. Because if your employees are happy, then the patients are happy. And when you offer things to patients that make them happy, our employees buy in. Like they're like, wow, we're really doing the right thing for the right reasons. And at the end of the day, that leads to increase in bottom line. That's a byproduct of just doing something that is right. And that's what I like about it. And to any DSOs that aren't doing it, that are considering it, is like, what are you waiting for? It's time to implement this. This is the wave of the future. This will only add to your practices, not detract in any way. So I'm a big proponent of it and full advocate of it, and completely endorse Dental HQ as a provider. But doing something that helps increase quality and access is always down my pathway of what I want to happen. So big fan of all of it.
Excellent. Dr. Wells, I'll let you kind of finish things up.
Yeah, let me finish. I don't want anybody to listen to this webinar and not be able to say they came away with some like very actionable stuff. So some super creative things we see are things like what Dr. Riccobene does with his sealant plan, or what Dr. Pham does with different tiers of a pediatric plans. We have had offices do a denture maintenance plan, or maybe if they have implants, it will pay for the cost of the attachments to be replaced every year. Retainer Club, we talked about, a plan for patients who are out of network. So you've got your in-network patients who are getting a discount, your membership plan patients who are getting a discount, but you've got your out-of-network patients who sometimes are paying top dollar, and you feel bad and you want them to have access to some of the discounts. And so you can do an annual plan for maybe $49, include teledentistry, maybe some whitening refills, and give them access, more importantly, to those treatment discounts. We've also launched something called Business Connect and Community Connect. So you can literally take your plan to local businesses, sign them up. The business can send out an email to all their employees, and they can choose to subsidize all or part of the cost of their employees' membership plans. We've done this with an orthodontist who refers to us. The orthodontic employees, they need dental care. Well, the orthodontist doesn't provide it. So he signed up and covered the cost of his employees to have their dental care done at our office through our membership plan, through our Business Connect feature. So, you've got patients who work for a small business who doesn't offer insurance. We provide the paperwork to take it back to their employer and let them know about your membership plan. Also, Community Connect, church groups, retirement homes. You can create coupon codes for these different groups to invite them to your membership plan. Maybe it's 10% off for a local retirement home. We take baskets to these homes with the special flyer with their 10% off and their coupon code. And our software will actually track each coupon code and who takes advantage of those discounts. So all kinds of really cool, creative, innovative things you can do with this program. We've got dentists all over the country doing really unique stuff. That's just a handful of some of the things we see. But what we've built is a platform where the power's in your hands to customize it and do whatever you want and have as much fun with it as you want. And ultimately, what Dr. Riccobene, Dr. Pham have said, it's driving value to your practice, it's driving value to your patients and retention, and that's what we all want in this space. And so, I hope everybody's gotten some good advice out of this and learned a lot. It's been great for us.
Yeah, some great tips and tricks from everybody, from a 3-location pediatric practice all the way up to 40 locations and 4 locations as well. So I think with that, we'll end the panel discussion, but I'd like to thank Dr. Pham, Dr. Riccobene, and Dr. Wells for being here and talking about how they're using membership plans to provide access to care and also help grow their DSOs. So I'm Bill Newman with Group Dentistry Now, and we appreciate everybody listening today.